Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to another episode of News Dose, where I give you all of the latest news in video games. And there's been something strange going on with PlayStation here lately, as another big employee just left. This seems to have been happening a lot lately, so is it just a coincidence, or is something going on inside of PlayStation? So we're going to discuss that here in just a second, and there's also some other things happening, such as Outer Worlds has been a big success. There may be some 3DS games make their way over to the Nintendo Switch, and Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 may have just been showed at Blizzcon 2019, but probably not as close to releasing as you may think. So stay tuned for all that as well. But first, let's talk about PlayStation, because yet another big employee just left, and this time it's the head of the second-party games, Corsi, which is well known for both the PlayStation Vita, and he played a big part in getting Yakuza 5 localized for the West as well. So the growing popularity in Yakuza this generation can largely be attributed to Corsi. So he has done a really good job, especially this generation. He did say that he will be taking a break, but plans on coming back to the game industry at some point, so best of luck to wherever he goes, and I'm sure he'll do a good job no matter what he does. Now, before we go all doom and gloom though, I'm not saying any of this is going to majorly affect PlayStation, so let me start off by saying that. However, there has been a lot of key PlayStation employees that have left recently, or there's at least some kind of turnover going on right now, and we've got reports of a power struggle within PlayStation recently, so you have to start to wonder what's going on over there right now, and whether those power struggles are real, because it does seem to be true right now, looking at it from the outside at the very least. I mean, much of the most well-known faces for PlayStation has left this generation, such as Jack Tretton, Adam Boyes, Andrew House, and most recently Sean Layden, which was the most odd resigning of them all, considering he didn't really even give a reason as to why he left, and it was just kind of like, well, he's gone, and there was no further explanation. Now, if you compare that to Mike Ybarra leaving Xbox or Reggie leaving Nintendo, both of those had like this big farewell from their companies, and they all seem to have left on good terms. I just don't know what's going on over there at Sony, but going into next generation, it seems there's an entirely different team over at PlayStation. That's interesting though, because really we're seeing an entirely different team from all three of the console makers now. Xbox has shifted over to Phil Spencer, and that took a while, but it seems to be paying off right now. And then Nintendo shifted over to Doug Bowser, which his name alone is awesome for a Nintendo employee, I mean, you have to say. And now we're seeing Jim Ryan lead PlayStation into the PlayStation 5. I don't think any kind of power struggle is really going to affect PlayStation 5, to be honest, but I do find all of what's going on to be odd at the very least, and then they've been so silent within the last year as well. I mean, they didn't show up for E3, and they haven't even announced PSX for this year, so I guess we probably won't hear from them until they reveal the PlayStation 5 whenever that is. Again, I think the PlayStation 5 will be just fine. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but what do you all think about these PlayStation people leaving? Let me know in the comments below. Now moving on, Hideo Kojima is releasing Death Stranding this week, but he made news today for an entirely different reason, and that's because he opened up about wanting Kojima Studios to work on movies in the future. And I don't think this should be too surprising considering his ties within Hollywood, and I mean, most of the actors in Death Stranding is Hollywood actors. He's always been great with cinematography, and he's infamous for super long cutscenes that can be well over an hour long, so I think he could actually do well as a movie director. I hope this doesn't mean he's going to be moving away from video games or anything, because I've always been a big fan of his, but you know, if that's what he truly wants, I wish him the best. Nonetheless, I know Death Stranding is getting a lot of mixed reactions right now, but no matter how you view Kojima, I think he has left a big impact on the game industry. Speaking of a big impact, Pokemon Sword and Shield had a major leak, and pretty much the entire Pokédex leaked, and I'm not going to reveal the information on this or anything, so don't worry about that. The reason I'm telling you this is because if you're trying to avoid spoilers, I'd recommend staying away from Pokemon websites, forums, and discussions for the next few weeks. The leaks really just started happening, and I wouldn't doubt if even more information came out before the actual release. What I will say is that the leaker wasn't exactly being too smart about this, and People already have his information such as Discord, Twitter account, and Facebook, so I wouldn't be too surprised if Nintendo gets involved here, because from my understanding, they're not too happy right now. Really, I do wish leakers would kinda stop this stuff, but here we are. In other news, Nintendo also may be releasing some old cancelled 3DS games on the Nintendo Switch, such as a Fire Emblem remake. Now, I'm not really sure as to what remake it is, but during the Kinda Funny podcast, Imran Khan noted that the Mario and Luigi Bowser Inside Story sold terribly, which caused Nintendo to cancel several 3DS games, which included a Fire Emblem remake. But there may be a possibility of them returning to the Nintendo Switch, considering the big success of the Nintendo Switch Lite. I mean, this is a no surefire thing, and much of it's speculation, but it would make sense to bring back some of these old handheld games. I think the Nintendo Switch isn't just a successor to the Wii U, but it's also a successor to the 3DS. We're finally seeing a true Pokemon game come to home consoles, and that's in large part because the Switch is a handheld, not just a home console. Then we just saw yet another handheld game. Zelda Link's Awakening was a big success, so I think Nintendo should do more games like this. What do you think though? Would you like to see them bring over some 3DS games to the Switch? And if so, what would you like to see? Now, something else I want to talk about is Blizzard, because Blizzard has been having an interesting month to say the very least. Of course, there was this whole Blizzcon incident, and Blizzard has been taking a lot of heat for that decision, and well, rightfully so, to be completely honest. But then there was BlizzCon 2019, and they brought all of their big games. I mean, we saw Diablo 4, Overwatch 2, a WoW expansion, and even a Hearthstone expansion. It was by far the biggest BlizzCon to date, and then we got some more information over the next few days, but both Diablo 4 as well as Overwatch 2 may not be coming as soon as you think. Blizzard later on talked about Diablo 4 and said it will not be coming soon, not even Blizzard soon, so we're probably about 2 years away before Diablo 4 hits the market, if even that soon. And then Overwatch 2, which based off all the information they gave us last Friday, I was thinking it was going to come in a few months, but Jeff Kaplan later said that they would probably be talking about Overwatch 2 during the next BlizzCon, so it appears it's at least a year away. A bit unfortunate, but I'm still happy they showed them at the very least, and I do think it's important to note here that they did not announce these prematurely to distract people from all the controversy right now, and that these announcements was planned months in advance. I've seen people think otherwise, but that doesn't appear to be true. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is Outer Worlds, because it's seeing a lot of success right now on Xbox, as it's the number 2 most paid game on the Xbox Store, as well as number 5 on Xbox Game Pass. This information was floated to me on Twitter by the user Cleaning Around, so credit goes to that user, but this is very impressive. We've seen a few times now where both Xbox Game Pass and the paid version has been strong together. You would think Xbox Game Pass would eat into sales more, but it seems to be having the opposite effect, and this has been confirmed by Phil Spencer a few times by this point, and I think the reason for this phenomenon is because it creates a lot of word of mouth. When you have millions of Xbox Game Pass subscribers going on there playing a game day one, there's going to be a lot of buzz, and other people are going to want to check it out as well. Either way, big congrats to both Team Xbox and Obsidian Entertainment. This is well deserved. Xbox Game Pass is amazing, and The Outer Worlds is one of the best RPGs this generation, so if you like RPGs, it's a no-brainer. Go check it out. Anyways though, that's it for this video, but let me know in the comments below what you think, and don't forget to hit that bell notification and subscribe button. Peace out.